Hey, I'm back. Hold on a second.
What a thrill. Darkness.
Yes, we are in this room again, and I need to milk it as much as I can. That means this is going to be a Klonoa related video. I wanted to animate something fun, easy to make, and share the process with you like usual. Maybe you'll even get some useful information along the way, huh? I was looking through my posts the other day, and I remembered how much I liked the settings and the visuals of this render. So I thought, why not make an animation out of it? The plan is pretty simple. Make a loop animation, something cute or wholesome happens, then a punchline, then it loops again. This video shouldn't be too complex and it should be easy to execute. Hopefully I won't overcomplicate it. Without further ado, let's get into it. I wanted to include this section this time, because not many of you know the full picture of how animation is made. So let me walk you through my process. Once again, truth to be told, I don't usually plan my animations with animatics or classic drawings. I mostly visualize it and replay the motion in my head. But I'll do my best to explain what I have in mind using some doodles in Blender's grease pencil. I'm not a 2D artist, so it will look ugly, but if I can pin down the idea, that's more than enough. Okay, what's the best way to do this? Oh yeah, let's do it like comic panels. Let's split this into 6 panels and see what happens. The scene starts with Moo. Yes, that's actually the character's name. It doesn't look like a cow. I don't know why it's called that, but let's accept it and move on. So Moo is in the scene, probably sleeping peacefully. Then Klonoa appears in the next panel, jumps on it, bounces, and then they both sleep together? Wait, that won't look properly. Let's try this instead. Klonoa comes in and jumps on top of Moo. Moo squashes and launches Klonoa upwards. Klonoa falls back onto Moo with another bounce. Then Moo puffs up like Miss Puff and shoots Klonoa out of the scene. After that, Moo calms down, gets sleepy again, and falls to sleep. I think this is a great starting point. Let's make Klonoa's first entrance more gremlin-like. Like, let me bounce on this like a trampoline. Wait, that sounded like an imp. But let's start somewhere and make it better later. He jumps, holds himself in the air for a moment, then drops onto Moo and squishes it. I think I'll rotate Klonoa in the air to make it more fun to watch. Each jump should feel a little special. First jump, Moo doesn't wake up. Second jump, eyes half open. Third jump is like, huh, what's happening? And fourth jump, eyes fully open. And last one, eyes wide open, puffing up. That inflation thing, like Miss Puff, is actually canon in Klonoa games, so this works perfect. Honestly, this is more than enough to make the scene. No need to over detail it, it's just my reference anyway. I'm the only person working on this. With the idea pinned down and scene opened, I'll start placing the camera. This will be a vertical format since I want this to be a YouTube Shorts animation. I need to keep a few things in mind. On mobile, you've got buttons on the right side and description at the bottom. So I want everything important to stay visible and readable. Camera placement and posing inside this safe area is very important. Focal length looks fine for now. One thing I want to mention, focal length matters a lot. The best way to understand it is this video right here. I'm not a photographer, I don't fully understand it either. I just know it lets me mess with perspective a little bit. You know those crazy anime forehead shots right before a character goes insane? Yeah, that's focal length. Oh yeah, by the way, this thing is called grass. I heard touching it improves your mental state, so don't forget to do that daily. Let me move some of this grass to free up space. Alright, camera is placed. Time to pose. Let's start with Moo. Oh shit, I forgot this was a static pose. Never mind, let's update Moo's rig first. Alright, what do we have here? This is a very basic rig I made for a previous video. It works, but not well enough for what we're planning. Quick heads up, this part might get technical. If you don't want rigging nerd stuff, feel free to skip to the animation section. First thing I want to add is an eye rig. I added flat shapes for closed eye poses, gave them a simple bendy bone chain, and added controls around the iris. This lets me make half sleepy eyes. All the controllers and meshes are shrink wrapped to the body mesh, which means the controls slide across the surface no matter what. Next, I want stretch and squash. I could just scale the body bone, but I want this mood to be extra squishy, so I added a lattice. To do this, add a lattice object and give it 7 horizontal slices on the W axis. Why 7, you may ask? I don't know, I just like how it deforms visually. You can totally use 3. 7 might hurt performance, so be careful. I want 3 controls: top, middle and bottom. To make this easier, I used 2 bendy bone chains, one facing up, one facing down, grouped in the middle. The reason is simple, I want scaling to work properly on the top and bottom. If the bones were facing the only one direction, that wouldn't work. All 3 controls use the TWK prefix, which stands for tweak. They drive the lattice deformation. I copied scale X as a driver and plugged it into an ease out curve. Then I doubled the effect using a simple expression, basically multiplying the value by itself. I did the same for the Z axis and the bottom controller. Next, I connected the lattice to the deformation bones using an armature modifier. I created vertex groups with matching bone names and manually assigned weights in edit mode. Yeah, there's no weight paint mode for lattice objects. Now let's move the controls. Nice, that's the result I wanted. But here comes the tricky part, double transformations. The body mesh is affected by both the armature and the lattice, so everything moves twice. To fix this, I separated the lattice controls into a second armature. Then I parented the armature to the main controller bone. To make it user-friendly, I duplicated the controls, joined them back to the main rig, and added copy transform constraints. I went through that really fast. There's a full step-by-step video tutorial made by Level Pixel Level. I'll put the link in the description if you want more details about this. Okay, Moose rig is done. Let's finally animate. Alright, let's get back to where we left off and bring Moo into the scene with its new rig. And start with the first key pose. I really wanted to keep the charm of the original static pose, so I just kept that one and pose on top of it. Of course, some tweaking is needed and make it work with the camera. Dragging bones here and there, and yeah, that's done. Now let's pose Klonoa's most important key pose. Him staring at Moo with excitement. Posing a key pose is always a challenge for me. The hardest part is searching for the appeal of the pose. I want viewers to look at Klonoa and instantly read these things from this pose. Energetic, playful, curious, that childlike innocent wonder. If I believe that the pose I made is showing those things, then it's good. That means I found the appeal. It's kind of interesting how we can't fool ourselves. People lie or put on personas for many reasons, but they can never really trick themselves. Humans are fascinating creatures, huh? Sometimes I get a bit lost in my thoughts like this, but animation relies heavily on human behavior, especially when your character is anthropomorphic. They all have human traits, and that's what makes them interesting. Animation is basically just mimicking those behaviors, but in fiction. Alright, let's talk a little about keyframes. We need to keep that earlier idea about Klonoa in mind. Every time we make a new pose, we should ask ourselves, does this pose still show energetic, playful, curious, childlike innocent wonder? If the pose shifts away from that, then something must have affected Klonoa's state of mind. And if that happens, we need to explain what caused that change. Explaining things can be a pain, so for this animation, I want to strictly keep the same vibe throughout. Truth to be told, even though I work as an animator, I still don't fully understand all the technical terms people use. I just learn the fundamentals and improvise with intuition. I mean, we all have a visual library built up in our heads, right? So when I talk about keyframes, what I really mean are checkpoint poses. Most of these poses already tell the story. For example, just by looking at Klonoa's first pose, you can understand what's happening. The rest of the keyframes are more about how the action is performed. They help me place timing and get the sense of motion. I'm not a very technical person, so I try to simplify everything in a way that makes sense to me. After setting my checkpoint frames, I start thinking about how Klonoa gets to that first pose. We could do something completely absurd, like him jumping in with a parachute, arriving in an orange Bugatti, or just appearing out of thin air. Those kind of things can be funny because they're sudden and unexpected, but for this animation, I want things to feel grounded and simple, so having Klonoa run into the scene feel like the most logical choice. It also keeps that original vibe, energetic, playful, curious, childlike, innocent wonder. At first, I thought about making him run like Luffy from early One Piece, but then my lazy brain kicked in and I thought, why not keep his arms close to his torso, Kind of like Pocoyo. So yeah, I decided to steal reference Pocoyo's run style. That way I don't even need to animate the arms. It's easy to make, looks energetic, and feels very cartoonish, which fits perfectly here. Wait a second, this reminds me of something. Next, I think about how Klonoa exits the scene. That part is a bit easier since there are fewer frames. Having a character fall from a height can feel a little dark, so I want to keep it playful and light. So for this part, let's reference Puss in Boots' spinning move. Now with all the before and after poses in place, we can roughly see what happens when I press play. Yeah, it kind of looks like Klonoa is abusing Moo. So clearly, we need to fix the timing. That mostly means moving keyframes around. So here's a tiny tip I use all the time in the timeline. You can select your keyframes and press E to move everything before or after the playhead. If your mouse is on the right side and you press E, it moves everything on the right. Same thing for the left side. It's honestly amazing. I used to manually select columns of keyframes and move them one by one. This saved me so much time. After some tweaking, I think this timing is a good starting point. Timing is all about feel. And honestly, I think that's the hardest thing to teach. If you could teach someone the feeling of motion, that would be incredible. But it's very subjective. It all depends on how you as an animator see timing. It's kind of like having an artist's eye for appeal. What's left now is to make the in-between frames and smooth everything out. Oh, and by the way, a lot of you have asked how I get that stop motion-like feel in my animations. It's actually pretty simple. I select all my keyframes, press T, and change the interpolation to constant. This removes all the computer-calculated interpolation and shows exactly the poses I placed. It's basically an imitation of classic 2D frame-by-frame animation. The downside is that you need to make all your own in-betweens, but the upside is huge. I don't need to deal with graph editors, gimbal lock, or other technical issues. I only focus on the visuals. It might be more time consuming, but I get complete freedom in posing without worrying too much about technical stuff. The rest of the work is just a lot of in-betweening. Perfect time to chill, listen to music, or watch your favorite streamer while working. I think we're pretty much done. After rendering, all that's left is adding sound effects, and here's the final result. Alright, it looks like I overcomplicated this video again, but not very much. You know, sometimes I really want to make simpler videos, not to teach or explain 3D stuff, but just to hang out while doing it. Kind of like talking to a friend while you work on your artsy-fartsy 3D projects. I do feel like I'm slowly getting there, even though I still tend to complicate things because I want the video to be entertaining and have some value in it. These videos take a big chunk of my time, so I really hope they're worth watching and that you get that chill vibe from them. The best way to let me know is by leaving a comment. Lately I've been feeling a bit of burnout from making tutorial style videos, so I might reduce the technical side for a while. I hope you understand. I've been playing games to help counter the burnout, and maybe I'll share some of those experiences with you in the future video. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and have a great day!